Hello friends, welcome to my channel. I'm Danny. If you haven't been here before, I love amps and cabs and guitar tones, and I know you do too, because that's why you're here watching this. I'm really stoked today. I'm playing 4 of the greatest amps I've ever played. Yeah, a big shout out to my buddy Ali for lending me the Wizard. I've been wanting to try one of these for years, and I've read so many forums about them and a lot of hype, and there's nothing like first-hand experience, so really glad to have done that now. So I'll just tell you a little bit about these amps and then also my thoughts playing them. So I'll start with the Marshall. So the Marshall is modded by Splawn, and it's a 50 watt, but it's actually running KT88 power tubes. So it's got big glass in there. It sounds pretty beefy. To be honest, it might be one of my least favorite out of these 4 for these types of sounds. I absolutely love it for a little bit lower gain, like crunch tones. It sounds most Marshall-y of the bunch because it's a Marshall, and it's awesome. I love that amp. But for these tones with a little bit heavier gain, I think I like the other ones. It's also the brightest of the bunch, so I had to dial back the presence and treble, and it's still brighter than the others, where for the other amps I'm pushing the presence and treble a little bit. Next, the Bogner Helios. So this is a 100 watter, and I absolutely love this amp. It's been my main amp for years now, and I know it really well, and I've dialed it in pretty much exactly how I like it. To me, this one has the sweetest mid-range, and it has the most like greasy feel. I feel like when I solo with it, it gives me just a little bit extra soloing powers, which is awesome. So yeah, I actually had an Ecstasy 101B here recently, and people always talk about that having a lot of like juicy lead powers, and I actually think the Helios does a little bit more of that for me. It has a really special mid-range, and this is in the 100 watt mode. If you dip it down to the JTM 30 mode, it's even more greasy and slinky and super reactive and responsive to your playing, so I love it for that. Next we have the Ecstasy 101B 20th anniversary, the EL34 model. I just got this amp a few weeks ago, and I absolutely love it. It sounds probably the biggest of all of these amps, the least compressed as well. Big low end, open top end. It's just amazing. I might be like honeymooning still, but it's really fun to play, and it's got a lot of power in the room. So people often say the Helios is like the least compressed Bogner, but I actually think this amp, the Ecstasy 20th EL34 anyway, is even more open than the Helios, at least in the way that I like to run it, the way I like to run both. So we were listening to the Blue channel on that, and yeah, really fun, big, open, awesome amp. So yeah, at the bottom here we have the Wizard Modern Classic 2. This is a 50 watter. Sounds really big and punchy for 50 watt. It sounds great. It's got a percussive attack, I think. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a different flavor compared to the Bogners, and for me, I think I like the Bogner sound a little bit more, but it's definitely just as good, and I can imagine a lot of people preferring the Wizard if you're just looking for a slightly different tone. So yeah, it's hard for me to put my finger on what like the Wizard sound is, but I hope this demo gives you a sense so that you can hear the differences with some of these other amps. So I'll talk about the recording chain a little bit. So I mic'd up a Bogner Helios 4x12 cab, and I had one SM57 on Vintage 30 and the other SM57 on a Greenback, and this was a 50-50 blend. Both were nicely in phase with each other. We were going into some Neve preamps, the AMS 1073 LB, and yeah, I'm really happy with the sound. People like Greenbacks and Vintage 30s with these amps, so I just blended them, In the room, I think the two Bogners were my favorite. The Helios, again, for the really great mid-range and lead guitar feel. And then the Ecstasy 20th for just sounding huge in the low end and open and clear. All amps were metering very, very similar. So if there's some apparent volume changes, it's mostly just the EQ and not actual level, based on what I recorded from the microphones anyway. So if you like that cab sound, I actually have an IR that I've made that is the same mic placement. So you can download that for free, and I hope you try it out. I'll have instructions for how to download it in the description below. So yeah, I hope you dig it. But yeah, the amp craze continues. There's a lot. There's a few more amps that I'm gonna try out very soon. So if you like this stuff, definitely subscribe, give it a like. Let me know what you think. What did you like best? Meet me in the comments. Happy to chat more. There's a lot more nerdy details about all this stuff, but I'll try to keep it relatively brief here. So thanks so much for checking out this video. I hope that this helps you with your tone quest, and I wish you all great tone. Peace.